All right. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are here in Johannesburg for our Actors Roundtable. We've got a group of DUT alumni who have taken the professional circuit by storm. And I'd like to ask you gentlemen a little bit about your journeys and your careers. So let's start off by just introducing ourselves and let's go around the room.
Yeah.
All right, so mna gents, as many guys know me, Siyavuya Mfenqa. I'm I would say film producer, director, writer. I studied at DUT undergrad, and then I currently now go at Wits for my master's, and I'm doing a research that's very controversial. It's based around cancel culture within the film industry. I've done produced some films, and the other one was on BET. Currently, I'm developing a couple of films that I hope to take on production sometime next year or this year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yeah.
I am Lulama, AJ Nyembezi. A lot of people know me as AJ. Also DUT alumni. So I'm an actor, and by qualification, I am an actor, script writer, and director. But I'll say that I fell in love with more of the performing side of things in the industry. That's what I love. That's what I believe I'm capable of doing. And how do I put it?
Come on, talk your shit, bro.
But
tell us what you've done. You know.
In terms of what I've done as an actor, I think my career is still just, it's basically like a flight that's about to, depart, about to take off. So I've been on House of Zwide, but it wasn't a huge role. I've done a quizzical picture short film, which was Melody. I was a lead there. And I was on The Queen, season 6, the finale. And currently I'm doing Betina Way to season 3, and obviously with more other things to come. Man, that's basically me in a nutshell, I suppose.
Nice.
I'm done.
Okay, guys, mina ke nguzenzele. Zenzele Mazibuko. I'm from Escort, KwaZulu Natal. This is my family. Abafowethu laba, as I've said in the beginning of our conversation, we are family. Like you see, we started together. Kotia Theatre. Singabantwana bakaDebbie. uDebbie wasn't yes. She was like our mother. She is an associate professor. She used to be an associate professor at DUT.
Debbie from DUT.
Yes, from DUT. So we are Singabantwana back. Okay, I'm a writer, director.
Amazing writer.
Yes, I am a writer. Like yeah, like ngikhulwe ngibuza ukuthi as a person, as an individual, yini engiyithandayo. So I looked around, like ngibona izinto ezenzeka around abantu nezenza mina, and I fell in love nokuthi I'd like to share and tell these stories. So I regarded myself noma ngizibona ngumuntu oyi-storyteller. That's why I'm proud ngithi I'm a writer. As much as I studied acting, as much as I've studied other things, but then I am a writer. I've done some work ngaphansi kwe-NFVF Youth Filmmaker projects. I've written some scripts that were produced for the Youth Filmmaker slate ku SABC 1. I did Nyembezi Lwentuthwane, I directed Usengimkhethile, and I've done eminye imisebenzi nje engakabonwa engakaveli ubala. So yes, imina loyo. Okay, ngiyathokoza.
Lamachita, they have worked with these guys and I respect them, man. Mna Othembele Nomgca. This is the second time I'm here, so pay some respect.
I'll be back too.
Shout out. Let's go.
Yeah, Othembele Nomgca, from Flagstaff, Eastern Cape. That's where I'm born. So I'm an actor and a director, but most of the things that I've done in directing is theater. Yeah, and now I'm doing my honors in directing, and of course then you get to do your other modules, not just directing, but I'm doing my honors at TUT. And yeah, man, just looking forward to seeing some of the work that I've done recently, which is the Entabeni. There was it's one of NFVF's project, so I'm looking forward to see that. I'm sure now it's something that I'm gonna look at and see what there's still more to come. Yeah, I understand. So, but more than anything, man, the school part as well, it's something I still want to study further, and this could
That's actually something I want to ask you guys about. Just sorry to interject. So first and foremost, both of you have featured on television.
Yeah.
Right? And both of you have worked on television productions. Yeah. Now the question I need to ask you, with so many people coming from being content creators from social media, and so many actors being chosen based off of their followers now and put onto television, do you find that your schooling, your DUT education was integral to your development? Or do you think you would have been just as successful if you were thrown straight into it and learned on the road?
Who wants to answer that?
I'll let Jeff go first. I'll come after you.
That's a very nice question, and it's a question that's circulating in the industry, and especially amongst ourselves, people that have went to school to study. Personally, I used to trip over it. I used to take it personal. Like, yo, how come is it that I went to school and then you didn't do shit, but now you can get that job? But like, now I honestly don't give a fuck, because this is my personal journey. It's only myself that I'm focusing on. It's about developing myself, and I know that my education is going to benefit me in terms of longevity, because this industry is so fickle. You can be this person today and tomorrow shit is different. I have my education to back me up. Exactly. Next year I'm going to be doing my PhD, hopefully. So, I have options, you know what I mean? So whatever that you do on your corner, it's okay. I don't mind, but I'm just like focusing on myself.
Well, I suppose my view of it is not too far from your view. Yeah. In a sense where at first, I know I used to trip over it a lot, because it was a matter of, damn, man, people that are getting the job or the people that are being cast for certain roles are people who are just they models.
Yeah.
I remember when I first moved to Joburg to obviously pursue acting, what I'd frequently see was that a lot of models were jumping onto screen is because of aesthetics.
Yeah.
Because I suppose aesthetics sell. Yeah. But when you look at the job being done, can they act?
So do you think that there's a disrespect to the medium of acting by the people who are actually financing these productions?
To an extent, personally, that's what I think. So hence, I'm saying then I used to take it so personally, because it was like, oh, listen, man, I studied this thing. I went to university for this. And if you've been to school, you guys should know what our schooling was, what it was like, the process of it. Tireless nights, there was sleepless nights, all of that. Let me get somewhere. Okay. All of that, you're putting in this work. But then at the end of the day, basically what I'm trying to say, yes, I used to have a problem with people that didn't really study it, going into acting. I'd have a problem with it if I see, okay, they lack the skill. They were just taken because of how they look or how many Instagram followers they have. But I mean, if you are taken because of that, but then you can deliver ispan, as in the talent is there. I mean, there's a lot of great actors who are there that didn't study. Abdul Khoza never went to school for acting, but he's a great actor. Yeah. And that's just to name, there's a lot of other people who didn't go to school for acting, but they are brilliant performers.
Yeah.
And they also still they pay respect to the craft. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, I guess that's where that came from. Is no, man, you're not. Are you still respecting the craft? Because for me, it's very important.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've been, it's like you've been molded for this thing. You know it in and out. So you are bound to take certain things personal when it comes to the craft.
Can I interject, like, before we move on to the other guys? I get what you're saying, but my other thing is with producers or production companies using models and whatnot, to play the devil's advocate. Remember, at the end of the day, the objective of the channel is to sell Omo, right?
Sure.
It's about numbers, and if those people can bring in numbers to the channel, they don't give a fuck about your degree, because
true.
There's nothing that they can use from you that's going to benefit them. So I understand it in that sense. We should not take it personal.
No. I've learned, like I said, I've learned not, because the more I like I was in the industry or in the field, is the more I got to learn certain things, how the game basically works. Do you get what I mean? Like, I used to be skinny, so I knew it was a matter of, okay, I sat down, I'm like, yo, if this is what sells, or if aesthetics are the way to go, yeah, well,
I've got to bulk up.
I gotta bulk up, and that's exactly what I did. I started bulking up.
Why are you laughing?
I bulked up because it's like I can't just depend on the talent that I think I possess, or the talent that I know I possess. If it means anything, yo, let me, it's like what if anything, what has COVID taught us? To adapt.
Yeah.
And we've learned to adapt, and because the world is constantly moving on. So it's either you adapt or you stay behind.
Because you guys are classically trained actors who have done Shakespearean
We
roles,
know
who
Shakespeare
have done soliloquies and monologues.
Yeah.
And now you're put into a room next to a influencer who has 50,000 views, who hasn't memorized their lines.
Have you ever been in a scene with an influencer who doesn't know how to act?
Can I say something? But I think, you know what, it all goes up. It goes back to what the guys were saying, Guti. If you take the craft serious, then I'll also, because I mean, like Siyavuya was speaking about your personal journey. It's a journey, and you can't disturb that. We understand. You can't get in front of their journey. So when you get to focus on what you have done and what you can still do, I understand. And I think most of the time, I don't know, but I feel like us as actors, we should have that mentality, Oguti. Don't just rely on this one thing. Because Anit, you were trained as a writer. You were trained as a dancer at school. You did movement. You did all of these things. At the end of the day, you've got to do some of the things for you to get somewhere. Like I think 2021 when I was directing at W, because I'm still waiting for a job. I have to direct this piece, and this piece is gonna be seen by other people. Ganjalo. Yeah, I understand. Then you get some, because you always gonna be complaining. I mean, we complain about the government all the time. Hey, the government is not doing shit for us. Because it was a teen. That's the thing, If we were to complain about influences, and then it means you just don't trust yourself enough. For me, that's what it means.
So you're saying that if you were to complain about influences, it just means that you have not done the work within yourself to make yourself marketable enough, or to make yourself better than. It shouldn't even be applicable to you because of how much work you've done.
Yeah, I mean, yes, of course, it clearly is a figure there, but I feel like there's, like he's saying, he's now bulked up. Because that's what he's so good. I need to go this route and still have talent and still have everything that I have done, so that I don't sit and complain and say, but lamachita tattoo because I fit. I understand, because the opportunity then is gonna come and say, fit. No, Andiko fit. So you have not done the work either way. I understand.
It's the worst. You go audition, you get to audition, you kill the audition. They say, yo, listen, you have everything. You have height. You have the look, in terms of you look the part.
Yeah.
And you can act. But now we're just looking for somebody that's more built, the aesthetic.
I don't like that shit though. I don't like that shit,
Bro.
bro. I just don't like it, bro. Not everybody that's on TV is supposed to be.
But you that's what. But you said earlier on that you need to sell.
No, personally, bro.
You need
I
to
mean,
sell.
okay, us as producers and directors, you're a producer, right?
Yeah.
So let's say you have a concept of a script. Would you want to have everybody that's buffed up, or would you just like want to have talent?
So it depends. I'm not a narrative producer. I produce reality TV and like entertainment television and music television. So yes, I would like everyone to be buff.
Fuck
I
you.
produced for MTV. I produced for MTV. So I'm not with you, Doc. I'm sorry. I'm not a narrative producer.
Let me tell you something, bro. So last year, right? Because I still have an agent, and even though I'm not serious about acting, but they send me briefs and whatnot. So my agent calls me this other day, like, yo, Siyavuya, I have an ad for Nivea. So tell me, umzimba wakho njani?
I
No, it was like Nomgca ran. I'm like, yeah, can't be auditions up. So yeah, no, I get it. That's how the industry is, man. So
it's a bit tricky when it comes to actors because Makshuta, forgive me guys, I'm going to be expressing myself more in my mother tongue. I feel comfortable.
Sure. Please.
Makshuta, like bukwa the cinematography. Umuntu osuke talent or esuke kushuthwa yena. Lo muntu loyo must be appealing to the camera. Lo muntu loyo fanele kubonakala ukuthi apart from what you fit the brief, apart from what you have talent or you killed it, you killed the audition. Apart from that, but then masikuthatha sikushuta sikubeka eduze kwecamera iyavela yini lento esiyifunayo. So that's why in most cases they will need you to have a certain look. As an actor, ngiyakuthiwa angeze ukukhulumela ama-actors because angixilile kubona. Kodwa ke ngikufundile bazoyikhulumela kona. Ngiyakuthiwa your body is your tool. Okusho ukuthi umzimba wakho iwona sekuyithuluzi lakho. Ithuluzi lakho like you need to lihlale li-equipped, lihlale li-clean, lihlale li-sharped ngaso sonke isikhathi. So umzimba wakho you need to do that. That's why in most cases abantu kumele vele bajime.
So you don't think it's a disrespect of the craft. You think it's a necessity, essentially. It's just a part of what is needed to ensure that the film aesthetically is correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so now my question is this. Do you believe that the people who are financing a lot of our productions now, do they respect the craft of filmmaking? And when I say the craft of filmmaking, I'm talking acting, I'm talking cinematography, I'm talking sound, I'm talking world building. Because I find that often we have these beautiful concepts, like these amazing concepts that you can put into a log line and it's like, wow. But then you watch the show, you're like, and I'm wondering like, where did this budget go?
Yeah.
This is supposed to be a premier South African TV show, but our commercials are they're incredible. So where's that gap?
Usiyavuya takes numbers. They're looking for numbers, so they don't really well invested in
seeing the field. Should I say field? But in seeing this, how do I put it? But personally, I think it is a disrespect, and the people you mention that are throwing or putting in the money, they don't really. And again, this is my opinion. I stand to be corrected. They don't really care about the end product. So I don't know where, maybe because there's a lot of parts that go into it.
Yeah.
So it may come from whoever is investing into that particular production, I'm just gonna say. And then there's obviously the people that come in hand that are gonna take care of
the people actually shooting, the people actually doing the things.
All of that.
Yeah.
So it all boils down to that. Okay, what are you trying to cut cost? Are you trying to, because I feel like a lot of productions go with that route, trying to cut costs so that they have maybe whatever is left over. Okay, here, this is the person we're gonna get to shoot. To an extent, I do feel disrespect, because it's like when are we gonna grow? You know, as a film industry. Do you know what I mean? Like, look at where. Obviously, I am gonna use this as an example, but look at, when are we gonna get to Hollywood material or Hollywood status?
So now here's something that's so tricky, right? If you look at our budgets compared to Hollywood budgets, even our top things. So let's look at something like Queen Sono, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think one could say that the budget for Queen Sono was probably in the ballpark of about 35 million rand.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
For the whole season.
For the whole season. All right? Now, that means that it's about what? $3.5 million.
Sure.
If you look at a Hollywood production, that's how much they're spending on an episode of something that would be like an action show, that side. So we're incredibly limited in terms of the amount of financing we're getting, even when it's from the international sources. You know what I'm saying? So I wonder, because at the same time, it's like our films get funded like that, but then our TV series, don't they get really good financing? Like, don't our soapies and our long-running telenovelas get really good financing and really good budgets?
Yeah, I think it's very unfair for us to compare ourselves to Hollywood. Hollywood has been there for
a long time, but
for as long as
have we been seeing the growth?
I think we have been, to be honest. So I'll try and answer these two questions. I was in Rwanda last year, and I was comparing our film industry with the Rwanda film industry. And when I look, we are doing enormously well because we have structures that are willing to support our film industry. In Rwanda, they don't have, like, literally, people don't even watch TV in that country. So I think in Africa, we're doing pretty good. Like, we're competing with Nigeria, but like, we're good. And then when it comes to financing, unfortunately, in our country, we're only dependent on very limited structures of financing. It's either you are commissioned by Mnet, of which you don't have leverage because they almost like control Yonkindo. DTI, that's where it's obviously independent financing, but it's almost like every filmmaker in the country is dependent on DTI for financing. That's a government institution.
Sure.
There's IDC, which is like a bank. And you need to have some notoriety for them to lend you money, and like almost like a guarantee that you're gonna make the money back, of which is not like our films don't make, they don't make the money back. So that's the thing. I wish like in our country we had like private investors like in Hollywood. I think that's the only way. Not the only way, but that's one of the ways that our industry can grow.
Bro, I did a movie with an angel investor last year, and it was hell. It was hell. He had to act in the movie. He had to be the lead. He was finicky about every single part of it. He didn't trust the people that I brought on to be crew, and then it ended up just being a nightmare. The angel investor scene in South Africa right now is hell. Damn. Oh my gosh, because you're working with people who just want to be cool.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Like, it's literally all of the angel investor that I worked with. He wanted to be a star so badly. Like, he wanted to be an actor so badly, but he just wouldn't go to rehearsals. He just wouldn't go to rehearsals. And then he would pay, actually, this might be a nice bag for you. He would pay his acting coach something ridiculous, like 8,000 rand a week or something, all right? And his acting coach was just a yes man.
Oh yeah.
That was okay, but I think maybe if you project a little more on and like, they would just take this dude's cash, and then by the time we came to actually shooting the film, I had gotten beautiful like black magic cameras, amazing lighting, full crew, props set up. Now I've got this dog shit actor.
But pay like at least though you got like you got to have like the resources to create a film, but just that it was a shitty person that you were working with.
Yeah, we got the resources to create a full, proper finance set and film, and it was of professional standard and quality. It just had one bad actor.
Yeah, that's true.
And the lead.
And he was the lead.
And you can't say anything because they have leverage of money. So yeah.
Man.
I wish we just had good financing.
Another thing I could say engingakusho ukuthi singayithola i-funding or i-financing mhlambe engamitha ngenza example engamitha Hollywood standard thole mhlambe billions or millions of rands to produce a film or whatever project that you are working on. So the thing is kufanele enye into fanele siyibuke ukuthi in terms of creativity thina singama South Africans are we masenza imsebenzi siyenzela ukuthi imithe istandard sase Hollywood or siyenzela ukuthi ibe authentic. You can have a budget eningi like ungayithola ifunding enkulu, but then when it comes to production ekuthenini isiyashuthwa lento you are creating whatever you are creating uthola ukuthi iyafa into ngandlela thizeni. So lento injengokuthi siyawukhalela umhlaba like we want land, but then awunayo ingadi. Understand ipiece yengadi awunayo isakhula kwayona leyo piece. So siye ready yini ukuthi singakwazi ukuthi mangukuthi siyawathola ama funds noma siyithola le funding esiyidingayo, can we deliver?
That's hard, man. That is so tough to say, because I don't want to underrate the skills of my South African filmmakers. But with that being said, I have never seen a South African Avengers, and I've never seen a South African director. Even the big guys, Neil Blomkamp, Gavin Hood, I've never seen them create. I mean, District 9, yes.
Yeah.
But I've never seen them create that with longevity. I mean, Neil Blomkamp, we don't talk about him like the Russo brothers. You know, we talk about District 9, and then maybe we talk about that Netflix thing, but we don't talk about him like, oh, the longevity of this guy's career. You know, when was the last time you watched the Gavin Hood movie? So that's hard for me to hear, because at the same time, I look around at my friends who are filmmakers and I think, I see the ideas that they want to do using robotic cams.
Do you get what I mean? So I think that's where like my comparison to Hollywood comes. Not in a sense where we should be like them. No. It's okay for us to stay authentic to being, you know, where we at. But in terms of like you're saying now, when will we ever like produce a South African
Avengers? Yeah.
Look at the look. If you watch TV now, almost every telenovela has a standard way of doing things.
Yeah.
Rich family, poor family. Do you know what I mean?
Even when you shoot,
when are we gonna change that sort of narrative and come back with more? There's so many stories to tell, bro.
But we've had these things before.
There's so many stories to tell.
John Lulama wele Jeff. We've had good stories. Yeah, understand. We've had good stories. That's the thing. Once again, what went wrong? We are adapting to. It's this thing again. We want to be like Hollywood, and Hollywood comes and does our shit, and they go.
It's also like, that's when I think of it now, which is gonna take me back to the point of Amajita feet. Look at like how
fitting defeat.
No, seriously.
Like defeat. Do you know how long it took me to get to being where like defeating
if you look at our television industry, like from the inception, like sure. You know, like I generally used to think when those were good stories of Velapi. That was the last time I really enjoyed TV, and those stories were authentic, and it was not like was himself. If you go to a castle dog, not wongum to feed. You know what I mean? If you go to his lane, not wongum to feed. So this whole shit
from an amount, and again, this is me being honest, from an amount of, let's say, out of 50, I'll say males you see on the road, whether you're going to the mall, how many of them are fit or aesthetically built?
I think Lendiokba Viti, it's also like, I don't know, it's contingent to this whole fucking social media shit, like Instagram and whatnot, definitely. You know. So I'm not bashing it, but I'm just saying not everybody has to be that way. So now
also being fit is expensive in a poor country.
It is, bro.
Now
imagine, I'm going to Ochishins. Mamela, you have to go to number. Okay, you're trying to build this so that you go to an audition room looking fit.
Yeah.
Let's say we are figure in a sense where you haven't really gotten a job yet. Né? You have bills to pay and everything.
Yeah.
Go eat gym. You have to pay for gym membership.
Yep.
I'm telling.
Virgin Active 750.
I'm telling. And then your diet. Diet is very. It's important and it's expensive.
Yeah, that quinoa ain't cheap.
There's your there's your supplements. There's your pre-workout. All those things that are gonna help sort of propel you to the journey or to where you need to get to, so that you can look the part to a point where mungena, when you get into an audition room, at least somebody can, okay, you know what, you've caught their attention walking in.
Yeah, that is true.
Before you even perform. Because that's where it's at. We can't deny that. That's where
you need to go there smelling good.
Yeah, bro?
Yeah.
And I smell good. You need to look good. You need to be well groomed. All of those things come at a cost. Yes.
That's a good point that you made, bro.
So now I wanna ask. So you're talking about how if you look at 50 dudes, right? Probably 2-3 of them are gonna be in shape. And we're talking about authenticity, all right?
Yeah.
So now my question is, there was an era in which we created very authentic, high quality productions. I'm talking about Yizo. I'm talking about Intersections. I'm talking about classic generations, generations we grew up on.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like this westernization or this globalization of what we're trying to do with our cinema has pulled us away from this golden era?
Yeah, 100%.
It definitely.
Personally, 100%. Well, why was Yizo taken away from screens?
And also,
I'm just asking, like, why was it taken away?
Because it was authentic. He was showing who you are.
Yeah. And what's again, my opinion, what I think, I don't know whether to put it as people or as South Africans or whatever, but we don't like being told the truth about ourselves, who we are. Do you get what I mean? What, again, we'll talk about Yizo, everything that happened with Yizo, it's not that was a story of what was literally happening. Ekasi.
I mean, I went to
in South Africa. I'm told. Yeah. But we were. I don't know. I feel like it was taken out of screens because of, I guess it's going to betray us as a country or as Black people or Ilogishi in a different light, that we don't need to put that out there.
Yeah. I mean,
why? But it's who we are, and it's what's going on. Even up to this day.
To this day, yeah.
To this day. Why don't we see, let's say, like, hijack stories?
Yeah.
That's facts.
There's people who steal cars.
Yeah, for real.
So many. You go to high school with guys.
Yeah. Have you ever been in... I know I've been in a situation where, okay, there's right now, a car has been taken. And you're not even aware. But you just see it happen with, oh, what the heck? What's happening?
When I was
it's a reality of who we are as South Africans or even as Africans.
When I was a kid, my driver used to steal cars. And I didn't know.
Yeah, well,
your driver?
My driver. He used to steal cars.
You had a driver as a kid?
Yeah, I was... Yeah.
Other type of stage. Other type of stage.
My driver used to steal cars. This was like my first driver when I was in like grade 5, and he used to always come in a different car with like different chicks. So like he'd come in an Audi one day and there'd be 2 chicks, or he'd come in an H1 and there'd be like a bunch of girls, but he'd always pick me up in a new car with different chicks. And then I eventually stopped having that driver, and I never understood why. He was like a family friend. And then my mom told me, like, yeah, no, so-and-so steals cars. And he had the thing where when a person, he'd wait at Gateway, and then when a person comes through, he'd block their immobilizer, and then he'd go in, take the car, and then he'd come pick me up from school, drop me off, and then go do what he needs to do with the car.
And those people, like, that's the person that you trusted with your life.
Like, I trusted him, and he was cool, and he was always nice to me. And even when I see him as an adult, like, he still treats me like he's like an uncle. Like, and That's the truth of living in South Africa, is that the average individual lives very, very close to the line. Do you know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
The average, the normal person. The fact of the matter is that it's sad to say, but if I had 20,000 rand, I could get any black man killed.
Yeah.
If I had 20,000 rand, I could make a couple phone calls, get any black guy I know killed. Because I'm from KZN.
Yeah.
So like with you, what you're saying now, I'll just give a short or a summary of the story. So it's a matter of a friend is hosting a party, right? He's hosting a party, chill, gumnandi, you got jive and whatnot. Couple of guys arrived. And I still remember these oaks at that time, and mind you, I was still in high school. At that time, these oaks were part of a youth league. I won't mention the party, but they were part of a youth league in that institution.
Okay.
So they were there. Political party, yeah.
ANC.
Youth league. They arrive. When they arrive, there's no more booze, but they're willing to take out money. I remember because I drove there. All I remember is a friend of mine asking me, saying that, hey, yo, can you just go drop us off quickly? We just want to go buy more booze and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, cool. I get in the car, we drive. And then the route changes midway of us going to where I think we're going to go buy the alcohol. It changes when it changes, we now in the burbs. When we're in the burbs, and I remember we're driving this like block of flats, apartments, and there's cars that are parked on the road, some are parked inside. It's like, hey, baga up, ima. I park on the side. As soon as I park on the side, the gents behind, two guys, they step out the car. When they step out the car, they go to a car literally right in front. In a matter of just, in no less than even, I'd say 50 seconds. In less than a minute. Let me just put it in less than a minute. They do what they do after they start the car. And after the only thing I was told, landela le moto. And already now, mind you, I didn't know what was going on. So it's a matter of what the, just happened. So now I'm obviously and a lot is going in my mind with, oh shit, did these guys just steal a car? Whatever the case now. Oh fuck, now I'm involved. Yo, I'm driving my dad's car. What do you get what I mean? And yo, bro, I remember just driving, following this car, sayongena imlazi. In a matter of just a short while, they were out, they had money, siyapuma, go buy the alcohol, go back, with party, life goes on.
Yeah, no.
They were just like, oh man, we don't have any money. Let's
Life
just quickly
goes
go
on.
steal a car.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? That's the reality of.
That's the shit that'll
of a
change
South
your life.
Africa. Exactly.
You could
And
go
that's what
to
I was.
jail.
That's what I was thinking. If anything happens, I could go to jail right now. What do I tell my parents? What if, almost for a whole month, I'm thinking, oh, maybe someone saw the car, the registration, and how am I gonna explain this? Oh, what happened? Even at school, I'm thinking I'll be in class, and I'm thinking, oh, cops are just gonna rock up. Sure.
Lento enikhuluma ngayo yabo, these are personal life experiences endidlule kuzo AJ.
Sure.
Into ayibona yenzeka kuwena yabona. So ukubuyela kulento ethi kwenzakalani lama stories lawa sasiwabuka on our television sisasebancane. Lezi zinto lezi esizibona zenzeka, leyo experience wayibona AJ. Mina ngikhulumela ababhali ke bafowethu ngumbhali.
Yeah.
I-inspiration isuka lapho ukuthi njengoba sikhala ngokuthi kwenzakalani ngoyizo why are we not seeing izinto ezicishe ezifana nalezi isikhathini zamanje. Thina njengamanje ingcaphi sele nathi kusele kuthina nje ababhali bamanje ukuthi we must create stories lezi esidlule kuzo sizenze zibe compelling, sizenze that could be a very good story.
Yeah.
Engafaka into kanje. So thina singakhala ukuthi yes asayibona izinto ezayifana noyizo nani, but then ngiyayikholelwa ukuthi there's no new story under the sun. Asike story esisha. So you can still tell story sake saxoxa esikhathini esithile esidlule, but usitshela ngendlela yakho unique. And thina sikhona ke njengababhali. ithina ofanele siyibuze why thina singayibhali lezi izitori because we have the talent, we have the skills.
But now
ukwenza lokho.
my thing that I have to just bring towards you, when you guys do write those authentic stories, and I see this happen a lot,
Sure.
and you see this a lot in Mzansi Magic, there's a narrative where it's like, yo, this thing cracks, but oh my gosh, this was shot on a cell phone. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just like, yo,
yeah.
oh my gosh, this lady was a maid and now she's pregnant with the, like, you know, and it's like, this story cracks, but it looks horrible. So it goes back to what we were saying with the craft.
Yeah. First, are we seeking to grow, or are we just doing it for the sake of doing it? It needs to be short. It's gonna, I will just, or is there a lot that is invested?
I
mean, I feel like cinematography is very important.
Yeah, it is.
You get what I mean? Blood and Water was a true. Yeah, well, when it comes to cinematography, Blood and Water takes it.
Yeah.
I would say
The picture, yonke into.
Yeah.
I would say with authenticity in story and cinema, if you look at Breaking Bad, I would say it's one of the best television series that's ever been made. It was made in 2008, if I'm not lying.
Yeah.
And when you look at it, it doesn't look appealing cinematically. It's like the first season,
Yeah.
right? Because it was 2008 and there was no advanced technology and cameras. But the story was still compelling.
Yeah.
It was sufficient enough for you to want to see what's going to happen. So, I mean, it's a combination of everything. You could have like the best camera, the best cinematographer. If the story is horrible, it's not gonna stick. So it has to be both, like good story, good cinematography.
Everything has to balance out.
Everything has to balance out.
The talent needs to be balanced
it
out.
goes-
We're not taking you because you have good numbers on Instagram or whatever, but we believe the quality of work for this character to push this story, you're gonna deliver. When it comes to Usman, whether it's a small or big character, we know okay, when it comes to our cast,
They're gonna
however much our cast is gonna, I'm sorry to interject, but however much our cast is gonna cost us, we're gonna take because we want what? We want skilled actors.
but that's all predicated to budget at the end of the day. So it's about like getting the best. If you want to get the best cinematographer, you need money to access them.
Yeah.
If you want the best actor, you need to, going back to your point, Gaspay, yes, there are these stories on Mzansi Magic, but they look like they were shot on the camera phone. It's because they don't have budget. Abakwazi ukuvumana uSiyavuya that's been working in the industry for 40 years and whatnot. So it all goes down to imali, dog. You could have the best script, but you need the best crew to help you.
My question was going to Inansika, Blood Psalms.
I haven't seen it. Why would-
You've never seen it. Have you
Only
seen Blood
watched,
Psalms?
I watched one episode.
Blood Psalms. So, like, I just want to hear your views, gents, ne? Because I've heard there was a lot of funding. Kuyo. Well, abanye abantu bakhala bathi it was COVID, but abanye bathi there was a lot of money and they had a lot of time shooting it. Iphume in last year, ne? Yeah, I think iphume last year. Some people say it was horrible.
Is it local?
Yeah.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah, what is it?
Yabona,
It's written by Jamil Kubek, I think.
going back to Lendobubuza, what you were asking about, when are we gonna, or will we ever have
What is it
our
called,
own
sorry?
Blood Psalms.
Will we have our Avengers?
Yeah.
Right. I think Blood Psalms was sort of along the lines of
That was our attempt.
It was an attempt.
Can you type this shit, bro?
It was an attempt, bro.
Can't we see it here?
I mean, technically,
Too late.
it wouldn't be on camera.
But also to interject with the whole budget thing, dog, like, so it's crazy. There's a film that I'm not gonna mention.
Okay.
I worked on it last year.
It's on Showmax. It's not on thing.
It's on Showmax.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
not
okay.
on
Oh yeah, I see that. Yeah, they wanna know. Okay. So this film,
Great cast though.
So this film that I worked on, it had good budget. I think the budget figure was like 6 million, 7 million.
Okay.
And
This
then
was a film.
It's a film, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but for a film, it's not a lot. But you know,
But
it's
6
decent.
million it's about there. That's
Yeah.
like a good place to start.
Yeah. And then I pull my dog. Yo. kwangathi nibukele into yenziwe after the second year. That's how bad it was. I'm telling you, bro.
Where am I after people?
Yenziwe ntoni imali? Tyiwe.
Yenziwe ntoni imali? Yo, nsanibonisa, you guys are gonna say it when we're done. Like, it looks fucking horrible. So I don't know. And the mali yenziwe ntoni, but like, it doesn't help the industry progress, because on Netflix, when they look at that shit, they're gonna say it's in 7 million, but this is the shit that you did. And when I go to Netflix tomorrow, they're gonna say nah.
Because of that guy.
Because of that guy.
Do you know what the problem is? I find there's too many people who like, I ran a successful business or I ran a successful restaurant, so now I'm a producer. Fuck you. You can't do this shit. This shit is hard.
It's so hard.
There's so many people who come off of the street and then they come to me and they're like, yeah, no, I want to make this movie.
Yeah.
They don't realize how offensive it is.
It is.
It's the equivalent of me going to a recording artist and saying, hi, I'd like to make my first track. I'd like you to feature on it. You know? Me going to Casper and being, I'd like you to feature on this track.
It's so disrespectful, dog. John Gangalamini, this girl texts me on Facebook, and then she says, yo, I want to try this acting thing. And I'm like, imagine I walk into a lawyer. Did you John man? Ndiyaziva prepared
for by
Anfundanga, but if get caught, you know, it is so fucking disrespectful, bro. If you're watching this, fuck you. That shit is annoying,
it
bro.
goes back again to what? It goes back to what you asked. Disrespect.
Exactly.
Anyone can literally say or decide ngomso. I want to be an actor.
Yeah.
Do you know what the problem with being a producer
When
is?
you went to go study this thing in and out. Wafundo Stanislavski, wafundo Banban, or Brecht, or Shakespeare. You learned everything.
Yeah.
And then because I figure one day, actually, you know what? I think I'm an actor.
Yeah.
But
Or
do you
an
know what the
actress.
difference
Let me
is
go
with
act.
actors and producers, though? The proof is in the pudding when that person goes to the audition. With a producer, they can bullshit all the way to post-production.
Yeah.
They can bullshit until they're on Mnet.
Yeah.
And then it's fucked. And
Maybe-
then it's
maybe I
like,
should be-
wow,
I should be-
this is
I should
actually
be a producer.
really shit.
That's-
And they're the ones who ruin the industry for us.
The producers, right?
The producers. Because
true.
somebody looks at
I
6
agree.
million rand and they think, wow, this is so much money. They don't realize that the camera that you're going to rent out is 25K a day. You are shooting for 6 weeks. Like, that's just the camera. You don't have any fittings. You don't have any crew. Those people don't know how many crew they need on sets. Oh my gosh. The worst is, shooting in Durban sometimes. Oh my goodness. Like, especially when you're working with these smaller production houses where it's some guy who like, for 20 years, he ran a successful law firm. So now he's like, I can do anything. And because he knows a couple people at Unilever or whatever, he gets this gig to get this brand or that brand.
Yeah.
And now that guy, he is going to go to these brands and he's going to tell them, oh yeah, no, I can do it for 50,000 rand. When in actuality, it's 150,000 rand job.
Yeah.
And he is going to ruin the economy of our industry. Because when real filmmakers come with realistic budgets that aren't crazy, they're going to think that those budgets are too high, because of all of these guys who are playing games.
Yeah.
And also as an actor, I have to say, since I agree with you 100%. We need to, I feel like sometimes as actors, again, this is just from what I've noticed for the little bit that I've, sort of been in the industry. Sometimes as actors, we are important. Sometimes we demand too much to be important to a point where we forget you are just a part of a structure to make or to go and achieve a common goal. This is recently from what I'm currently shooting now, where I noticed that, you know what, sometimes as actors, we can complain so much. Whereas you as an actor, you are there for maybe, let's say if you're there to shoot 4 or 5 scenes or maybe just a little bit more.